Hey guys, hey, this is Bryan Hohns with Numot Gaming, and I'm bringing you today an Ixalan draft. I wrote about sealed last week, and some people said they liked the article, so I figured, I would cover draft this week. So this will be, a run through a competitive single limb draft league, and there'll be a bit of a blurb written about it. And yeah, let's get into the draft before the time runs out. So for this pack, our rare is Deep Root Champion, a mediocre card that's kind of hard to build around. There's this Cannonade, which I've not been too impressed with. I liked it at the start of the format, but it misses, like, a lot of the cards it would kill are pirates, so it just does a whole lot of nothing a lot of times. This is a good value creature for black. Decent removal spell, definitely worse than this though. And outside of that, this is a great red common. I'm just going to take the black creature. It's kind of a boring card, but every black deck will play this and be pretty happy. So, kind of keeps me open. I don't think that was an amazing pack one. Alright, so here we have this Conqueror's Galleon. So, a bit about the format, by the way. The format, the base expression of Ixalan is that it's a pretty fast, aggressive format, and that the 4 tribes sort of dominate what you're supposed to do. But when you play it a bit more, you kind of see that there's, a bit more to it than just that. Because, well, in like the Sultai sort of shard, essentially, where, black-green, blue-green, blue-black, etc., Treasure and Explore can kind of combine to make some really interesting decks that are just focused on blocking and getting value with late-game cards. So I'm hoping to draft one of those today to kind of show off that side of the format. And anyways, here I'm going to be taking this Conqueror's Galleon. I haven't found this rare to be broken, but it's pretty easy to flip. You just sort of have to give up a bit of tempo, and it dominates the late game. And Seeker Squire is at its best in a value deck, so I'm just going to take the Galleon here. The next best card would be this Marauding Looter. I have not found this card to be particularly good. It's fine in Black Card Pirates, but it's more of like, something you get because the deck is open, rather than something you get and then go into the deck, if that makes sense. It's like a reward rather than a signal. Whereas the Galleon can go in all sorts of decks. It's simply... you have to be like a controlling deck, but there's all kinds of control decks that will want this card, at least from my experience. And as a rare too, it's also just interesting to play with. Or, well, not because it's rare, but because you'll get to play with it less than the other cards. So, in terms of video, you get to see, like, just a card you may not have cast yet. Anyways, for the next pack, Charter Course is very good. Siren Lookout's also solid. Like I said, if you're drafting a value deck, usually you're pushed into the Sultai Shard, although there are various other forms you can try. This is a decent 5-drop, especially on the defense. And then Grim Captain's Call is very good in black-green. This is a human scout, so no luck there. I'm going to be taking the Charter Course here. Just really efficient card draw. Yeah, I haven't been super happy with this card, unfortunately. I mean, it's powerful, but 7 drops in red are just rough. Like, at 6 mana, this card would be amazing, but at 7 mana, it's just too hard to cast it and have other things going on. So I've seen this card table a few times online. I wasn't too surprised. It's powerful and sealed, though. I think it's sealed. Like, most decks can't build their curve to the point where they don't play this. So, something to keep in mind. Let's see. Sheltering Light's a good trick. Outside of that, this is good in certain decks. Mars is around, nice value card, especially if some of our value creatures are pirates. It's a good defensive creature, and then it's like the 3rd Paladin of the Bloodstain we've seen. It's also a good, or a pretty decent 4-drop for vampires, or just a general white deck. I'm actually going to take the Skittering Heartstopper here. Okay. So, Ixalan's Diviner, not an aggressive card by any means, but useful in the sort of deck I'm describing. Sailor Beans, also good in the same deck. Probably better than Ixalan's Diviner. It's a good blocker that enables all sorts of late-game value shenanigans. Just like casting Regisaur Alphas off Treasure and blue-black decks. If you haven't done that yet, I recommend it. It's pretty cool. There's also this Mine Rod, which, it's a low resource format, but at the same time, like, you need to contest early game, so I'm not really sure if this card is good yet, and the raid is not irrelevant, but not amazing. So I'm just going to be taking the Sailor Beans. I'd say the best card in the pack is either Sailor Beans or the Aerosaur, but that goes in a bit of a different direction. And then here we have River Snake, which good in Merfolk, good with equipment, good at enabling raid. Just an embarrassing blocker, so not really what we're after. The Sailor Beans, it doesn't seem like green is too open, although this is a playable card, and this is a good sideboard card. And then there's this Hill Giant, which bit better in aggressive decks, not really what we're looking for again. There is the slight chance that someone could take one from a Sailor Beans, and then this would get their guy, but most people just, you know, take the damage. Okay, I feel like Blue Treasure control type deck is open. I guess that wasn't English, but I do feel like what we're trying to do is open, because that's a pretty late Prosperous Pirates, pick 7. It's also a Deathless Ancient, which is pretty good in Vampires, but Vampires, you know, just being in black-white means we'd have to pivot pretty hard from this plan. And like I said, I think this card's great, so let's just do all sorts of fun things. Again, Fiery Cannonade, not super impressive. I would not be shocked if the other one tabled. There are matchups where it's good, but you kind of want to see those matchups first rather than assuming Cannonade is going to be good. Alright, so here we have Opt versus March versus Storm Sculptor. Storm Sculptor can rebuy these ETBs and pick up this, so you don't have to be Merfolk for this card to be solid, but at the same time it's also kind of clunky. Opt just makes every deck better, and then March of the Drowned is very good with like these sort of value pirates, but you know, getting back 1/4s in the late game isn't really a huge deal, even though you could get 2 of them, so I'm going to go with Opt. This lets me, you know, sift through all the junk in my deck and find the cards that actually matter. Alright, so here I will be taking the Fiery Cannonade. If we end up in a matchup, this card is very good. We can cast it off Treasure or Unknown Shores or something. And Shaper Apprentice, unlikely to make our deck. Just not impressive in a non-Merfolk, non-tempo deck. Not too much else here. Cancel is a good sideboard card. Also, well, not really a sideboard card, but also a nice accessory to have in case we open, like, you know, a red, white, or green card we really want to play. I'm not sure how important Cancel is to have. I feel like we'll get like a Cancel later. This is probably a higher pick than Cancel in a vacuum. Cobbled Wings, not really for a control deck, but you could be desperate and use it as a measure against flyers. Alright, Grim Captain's Call is kind of hard to make work in green-blue. Or not green-blue, sorry. In green-blue it'd be a little better, actually. In blue-black, because blue-black is mostly just pirates and vampires. There's also some Merfolk, I guess. I'm actually going to take... I'm going to take this boat. I'm kind of feeling this. It's a good blocker. March of the Drowned table. It's really nice. I don't like playing a ton of marches, but the first one's pretty good. We'll take his Costly Plunder, I guess. Probably won't play it. Sacking Treasure isn't worth it. There's not that much else you can do with it. Sorry, I'm just checking something. So I'm not thrilled with how this draft has gone so far, but I think we have a nice basis for a blue-black X control deck. And it seemed reasonably open. I mean, we were getting a nice, like, I don't think this is a high pick necessarily, but, you know, we got both of these. We got the Prosperous Pirates. And these cards are very much the bread and butter of these decks. Like, without these cards, you can't really accomplish a lot in the late game because, you know, you won't actually get there. So, important role players. So here, Thundering Slimeback's a poor splash, you know, because if you use your treasure to cast this, you can't necessarily activate it. Paladin, it's a 2-mana 3/3 if things go right for you. It can be a little better, not really a high pick. Bishop's not for us. This card's been pretty terrible for me, honestly. And then this is... If this was single red, I'd be in, but at double red, it's a bit of a stretch as well. So we have our choice between like a second Opt or this defensive 2/3, because I feel fairly married to this archetype. I suppose I could move into I suppose I could move into blue-green Treasure as well, in which case I'd really regret not taking this Thundering Spine back. Also, Tiashana's Wayfinder as well. Or not Tiashana, Tishana's. I'm going to take the Thundering Spine back here. This is just a hard effect to replace. There's also a slight possibility of into 3-color, and then even if we like ignore this, we're just not losing anything vital. So I'd rather not leave this. Because one of the things about this deck is that, well, these cards are, you know, the bread and butter of what makes the deck work. When you have these cards, you do need to have cards like Thundering Spine back, or else you're just, like, begging to flood out, essentially, which I would rather not do. So here, Atsukan Archer is, it's not not usually a 2-for-1, but if you're dirtily enough, a 1-4 reach is a real card. This is sort of the, you know, a lot more standardized version of the card. Like, most of the time this will be better, but in some cases this is just dominant against aggro decks, where it comes down on turn 3 and kills their 2-drop. Queen's Agents, yeah, it's playable. It's probably the nicest thing I could say about it. And then Opt, of course, makes any blue deck better, but not by a large degree, so... I think I'm going to take the Ixalan Archer here. Maybe... I didn't take Grim Captain's Call, so... not as concerned with that. This isn't really the type of splash card I have in mind. This kind of relies on you having an awesome board of attackers. So you can cast this off like a contract killing, but without an awesome... like, your Sailor Beans aren't really hitting that hard anyways, so... not too impressed. So Heartless Pillage, like I said, playable, but nothing special. Hill Giant. I guess I'll be taking Storm Sculptor here. We already have a Dreadnought as well, so I don't need multiples. ETBs can be rebought with this. If we end up in green and blue, it's possible we play some Merfolk synergies, and the first copy is pretty solid. Alright, it's a bit more interesting. Thematic Compass, pretty good in a Durley deck. Lurking Chupacabra goes really well if you can get enough cards for it. However, we have only a single Explorer, so probably not going to be the pick here. We would have time probably, like, just pure talking, like, like just conjecture, I guess, but I would assume we could get like 4 Explore cards by the end of the draft from this point, which is, about as many as you need to play this, but not too impressive. And then we have good 2-drop, decent 5-drop. I'm going to be taking the Compass. Basically, once you flip Maze a bit, this dominates late games. It works great in any deck trying to achieve a board stall. And worst case scenario, you play slow games and you just draw a bunch of cards off it. Ooh, Tempest Caller, jeez. Not really a control card, but definitely the most powerful card in the pack. It is playable in a control deck, though. You can use this to win like the board stall you've achieved, just as like a I win button, or chip away with a flyer, and then be able to win before your opponent can draw anything useful. And then the 4-mana 2/3 part of it is okay as well. The other card I would take here, second hit scaring Heartstopper, Windstrider, and then Run Aground as well is worth noting because it's a combo with Conqueror's Galleon. Like once you hit 11 mana, this is just a literal lock. And yeah, it seems important to me actually. I'm gonna go for the lock. Just don't think this is a very good blocker. A lot of the games it'll win for us. We've already have won anyways. I don't mind Fleet Swallower. It's kind of big. It's kind of dumb. The effect doesn't matter that much. But if you're like on the Conqueror's Galleon Run Aground plan, you might just appreciate having another huge idiot in your deck. It's also this Jade Guardian, which if we're playing blue-green instead of blue-black, it can combo with One with the Wind and just get free wins. However, we don't really have... I guess we could put One with the Wind on a Sailor Means and have like an excellent blocker. And probably see like one more throughout the draft. Like I really don't recommend this card that much like normally, but with so many treasure makers, I do think we want expensive cards. It's also Siren's Ruse, which is... I haven't really been too impressed. It's more work than it's worth most of the time. Second Jade Guardian makes me feel a little bad. It's a Shipwreck Looter as well, with 2-slot, Daggertooth. I feel like I'm pretty confident that I'm playing blue. I don't know what my other color is yet. So I'm going to be taking the Shipwreck Looter. Shame on this bishop, but not for us. Another Tempest Caller. Alright, I'll take this one. I'm glad to have it, actually. But I really just wanted to see if I could set this up. It seems like a fun thing to watch. Like, at least for, the viewer and me, not for the opponent. It's pretty miserable, but Grace Paladin table. But like I said, rare symbol or not an impressive card. Opt is going to be good in helping us hit our land drops and set up these late game combos. Third Opts. I would probably play like 7 Opts if you gave me them. The issue with Opt though is that you have to understand that you're usually not getting too high of a payoff with Opt. It's just making your deck slightly more consistent. So, alright. The Jade Guardians have sailed, so I'll be taking Windstrider. But the thing about Opt is it's always weighed the opportunity cost of whatever you're taking Opt over. So in those cases, we're happy to pick Opt. But early on, I think it was correct to not take them. Yeah, so we're definitely a base blue controlling deck, but what else we're doing, well, we'll have to figure it out. Like if we open Wake of the Wilds, for example, we're probably in green. If we open, I was gonna say Vraska, but then we're just kind of painting the rainbow. What's a good, really good black rare? Sanctum Seeker? I was gonna say this, but I'm not actually sure if this card is that good. It's pretty solid with Sailor Means and all these mana sources. It's also, it eats boats. I don't mind eating boats. Charging Monster is pretty good too, but not really the type of splash card we're after. You know, like, this card looks a little worse when your opponent's at 20 life. Still looks good, but not vital. So I think it's between Argos Bloodfast, Vineshaper Mystic, and that's probably it. Otherwise, Run Aground would be interesting if we didn't have one already. So Vineshaper Mystic, we do not have any other Merfolk, I think. We know that's not true. We have two. We have Storm Sculptor and Windstrider. Although it's a little better with 2-drop Merfolk. I'm going to be taking the Argos Bloodfast. I want to have guaranteed mana sinks, so I don't just flood out and die. Okay, third Sailor Means, second Prosperous Pirates, some defensive filler in Grazing Whiptail, which again we don't know our second color, we just know that we're blue. I guess it leans a little more towards black with this, but the Vineshaper Mystic just didn't seem premium enough to the point where I would really care. I'm going to be taking Prosperous Pirates here, I think. Actually, because I don't want to play both boats, so I'm going to play one boat. Actually, I'll be taking Sailor Means. My 3 slot is pretty weak. Seems more important to have this on 3. Jeez, what? I didn't see red as that open. Man, that is... No, this definitely isn't a splash level card. Triple red kind of says no to those notions. Second Run Aground helps us set the lock up a little easier, but not really too important. It's also not very good on its own. You just want one because, you know, some number of Griptide is fine, and it's a pretty powerful thing to set up. I'm going to be taking this Sleek Schooner. It's not a super impressive card, but it's very good with Sailor Means. You can also take the second Skittering Heartstopper. I think having 3 Sailor Means pushes this above that, but could be wrong. I guess I feel like our late game isn't actually that good. Okay, and Friendly Fire, potentially a splash level card. Our interaction's pretty light, so we might need to go to something like this. There's the 4th Opt, another Prosperous Pirates. So what do I have? What do I have for kill spells? This is like all filtering. Like, I can filter like way through my deck, but what do I have that actually can kill a creature? Well, I mean, Maze of It, kind of. This Archer, Run Aground. Yeah, geez, I just can't kill anything. Alright. I guess I'm in. I mean, desperate times, man. I don't think I need the 4th Opt too much. The whole point is to use Thumb Compass or Treasure to cast this. Yeah. If you need to, you need to. This also can cast it. It's also Ruthless Knave. Yeah, I feel like I'm in black, but I was just not getting a strong signal to be in either of these colors. Don't really have Explore Synergy. We also don't have Pirates Cutlass, so it's just a decent creature. Cross Pirates. We don't really have the late game I was expecting with this. Just going to lock in the either the Ruthless Knave or the Dragonskull Summit. Yeah, there's so much card draw in this deck. Let's take the Summit. Just want to lock in the Splash. Arsonist is decent. It's the 4th Opt. Pyromancer, Grizzly Bears. I'll be taking the 4th Opt, I suppose. Yeah, I don't mind a Lookout's Dispersal here. I have a good number of pirates. Alright, sure. Decent value for. 2 Schooners a bit much. I suppose I'll just take Depths. one with the wind. Huh? Alright. So we are very light on ways to win the game. Like, I think we may actually have to reliably set this up. But it does give us something to do, at least. You know, like, if we do hit that legendary like turn 16 late game consistently, then we do have the run aground lock. And then, of course, to recap, you know, it's just Galleon plus run aground. You flip, you have 11 mana. Every single turn, you return target card from the graveyard to your hand. So they just keep drawing the same useless creature over and over until they die. I mean, hopefully they die. Hopefully you have like a Windstrider or some 1/4s or something. Probably gonna be cutting this Dreadnought. I think Prosperous Pirates is just better. Also, Sailor Means can't crew it alone, which is kind of a problem. This is probably a 16 land deck. I could also play Fiery Cannonade in this deck. I said the card's kind of narrow, but we're very lacking in removal, and we can use Sailor Means blocking and then use Cannonade to finish off whatever it's blocking. Which seems important because we're a bit vulnerable like early game. We only have 3 early plays before turn 3. I guess we have a lot of opts, but you know, if we're starting on 3 after opting, we're still just starting on 3. This is just blank filtering in that case. I haven't been boarding Spell Pierce too often in this format. You know, this card has a very short window to be effective. Like most non-creature spells that you want to deal with come very late. Like a Thumb Compass, for example, you're not going to be reliably able to Spell Pierce this. Alright, let's see. Heartstoppers. I like all these cards. I don't know if I like Tempest Caller. It seems alright. I don't know if I like Fleet Swallower or Windstrider. So I like all these creatures. I like all the ops. The March? Maybe on the March. Again, rebuying mana creatures is not especially impressive. So we might just want to play something else instead. Just like another creature instead of 2 of our filler defensive guys. Thumb Compass, Bloodfast. Scooter trades up pretty well. So I found this card to be awkward when you're racing, but if you just want to play it as like a defensive 4/3 that can attack if your opponent really stumbles, it seems fine. The Galleon, obviously pretty important. It's difficult for us to crew though, so we might want to play creatures with that in mind. Because right now we have to crew it with like 2 sailors plus a bear or something, or Cross Pirates will probably crew it with a sailor. The second run aground also not really needed. There's not really much that exiles a spell. And like I said, I'm not that happy with Riptide as a general card. I'm just happy with it as a lock piece. So this actually looks about fine. Not really too much else I want. Maybe the Windstrider is good in general, just because I have so few flyers. Can cut across Pirates for it. I think I have like almost no flyers actually. Yeah, I have 0 flyers. So yeah, Windstrider is probably important then, so we don't just get killed by flyers. Looks a bit dubious, Moto. We do have almost no black cards though. So I think I want, at the very least I want 8 islands. 3 of each. Don't need 3 of each. I think I only need 1 mountain. So I can cast these off treasure, which means I can play a few more swamps. So where does this put us? That's too many lands. What about this? Yeah, this looks about right. So let's see how this deck plays out in games. I'm not super impressed because the main thing we're missing is contract killing, vanquish the weak, walk the plank, Vraska's Contempt, like any sort of black kill spell, even Dark Nourishment would have been great. But at the same time, like we have the Conqueror's Galleon lock, and we have good defensive filler. Could also play this Fleet Swallower as a way to win games, but I think it's more of a sideboard card for when I think decking is a legitimate consideration. It could also just be that because of the way I'm winning the game, I don't have enough ways to win without relying on something like this for decking. But if I do that, what would I cut? I guess the schooner could go, but the schooner is essentially, these are essentially creatures. And this is fairly easy to crew. This does die to Fiery Cannonade. One thing I could do, I could just not play the Cannonade main deck. Maybe. I don't know. It's kind of a coin flip if this is going to be good or not. Whereas this has more of a purpose, even if it's embarrassing sometimes. Like, do I really want people to watch me deck out in my first video ever? You know, because I just didn't put enough ways to win the game in my deck? Because this doesn't put it on top. This just puts it in hand. So if Conqueror's Galleon's like at the bottom, and I just sort of flood out on blockers, I don't really have any other way to win. Yeah, I think I need the Fleet Swallower. I've convinced myself. This seems important. So... it's going to have to be a Sleek Schooner, I guess. Can board it in if it blocks particularly well. Can't keep 0 lands, no matter how many opts I have. I can keep 1 land, though. Power of opt, man. Just keep awful hands all day. Although, to be fair, this hand's going to work out fine now, because we found the swamp immediately. So, opponent misses 2 drop, 2 mountains, definitely top of that. Can I cast this? I do. I think I do. I can leak his 4 now if we miss a land drop. Ah, that's a nice exchange. Yeah, I'm just gonna pass with the opt up and leak. Absolutely leaking that. Alright. So one of the key things with treasure is not to use them frivolously. Like, just doing this or opting doesn't really accomplish too much on board. We can always display these spells later. Like, ideally we'll be using treasure for some sort of awesome 2-spell turn. That's fine. This blocks that pretty well. Okay. So, 5/5 haste. Yeah, this is where the no removal punishes us a bit, but alright. Just checks this until he has a removal spell. And sack the treasure for a death touch. I wonder what he has here. Sure Strike, Vamp Zeal, Slash Ixalans. Could have Rallying Roar because he's making both attacks. Could also just have Sure Strike, and he just makes both attacks because he has Sure Strike. I think I'm fine using this to buffer and eat the trick, even though I have to use the treasure for it to be good. Alright, that's totally fine exchange. Takes his whole turn. So here, I just want to go get an island off Thumb Compass, like an opt on his turn. I'll leave this back for Nest Robber. I don't think that 1 damage is going to do anything. When we win this game, or if we win this game rather, there's going to be a run of ground loop probably. Like I thought we're just going to win the old-fashioned way. Second main phase dinosaur for the night, eh? Yeah, land's fine. Let's just play the Pross Pirates. Alright, we have a double block here, at the very least. Actually, it's not a double block anymore, it's a 5-5. What am I even saying? So, Vamp Seal, Slash of Talons, essentially everything except for Rallying Roar. So we may as well double block, it feels free. This makes Rallying Roar not safest creature. If it's Sure Strike or any of the other tricks, Prosperous Pirates is gonna die. Dinosaur Stampede. That was also pretty good. Buffers some damage here. We are going to 4 though, which is pretty rough. I'll keep the treasure, I guess. Why not? Could have opted main phase. Actually, I probably should have opted main phase. Like, granted, I'm flashing a Windstrider to double block, but perhaps I could hit something better. And the good news is that if the double block fails, or if he plays something awesome next, then we have Mazavith next turn. Let's see what you got, man. Yeah, one terrible thing right now is that we're dead to another Unfriendly Fire. Although I don't think he has it here. Yeah. Alright, sweet. We have ours, but... So let's see, what can you draw with haste that, So we can get a land off this. The reason you don't get a land off this is because you're playing around a Charging Monster Sword, which actually, at uncommon, is not completely unreasonable to play around. Like, if we play this out to double block, or if we play this out, attack with this, we'd have to block plus Unfriendly Fire it, and then we lose our creature, go to 3, lose 2 cards. Yeah, that doesn't seem very good, so... I don't think we're supposed to, you know, like, tap our Mazavith this turn. Attack with this. The Nest Robber thing no longer matters. So if our opponent just floods out, we can with our terrible creatures. That's fine. Top main phase. Hopefully find Galleon or something. Bottom all lands. Yep. Run aground. Okay. It's not too bad. I'll attack with this 3-4 and just pass. So ideally we want to find Argyl's Bloodquest. That's probably the best card we could find, since it lets us sacrifice Sailor Means in response to Unfriendly Fire, or just in advance if we can get him to tap out. That's also fine. Suppose I don't really need to fizzle anything. If I'm going to be keeping the Unfriendly Fire, it's really a good use of Run Aground. Just waste his time, keep him in the same spot, replay the same turn out but with 3 damage. Ooh, perfect. So now we're just completely safe from, what's that card called? The Unfriendly Fire, the one in my hand. I'm trying to remember if there's a way to deal... Yeah, there's Lightning Strike as a card in the format. Although... Okay. Oh, I guess he has a trick, like Sure Strike. Or, what is this? Oh, Slash of Talons. Huh. I guess playing this beforehand was like a slight mistake. And also, note that our opponent did that very well, because he's using the damage step to apply Slash rather than combat, so I can't fizzle it with this. Not huge punishment, though, but... I'm just trying to figure out if our opponent has Lightning Strike. I don't think he does. Because that's the only thing that would kill me. I'm pretty sure he's F6. Alright, you know what? If I die a Lightning Strike here, so be it. Very good. This definitely flips, though. So the key is just to not tap this for mana to play around the Unfriendly Fire. fine. Like, I don't need to sacrifice this until it's actually needed. And that way, if I flood out, this answers his attackers that are small. Maze of Ith can answer the rest. Ooh, a lot of lands. Alright. Just need to find Conqueror's Galleon to flip it. Okay. I think I need March of the Drown in this deck. I think I made a mistake by not playing one copy. Kind of or at least in this matchup, where Prosperous Pirates is a very real card. That's just a 5-mana 3/4. Lands don't do much here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 lands. That's pretty useless. Opponent doesn't feel like watching me activate Maze of Ith. This is kind of a problem. Alright. Sure. Don't mind Fleet Swallower here. 7 mana. Does it trade with this thing? I think it does. Guess I can waste his entire turn. So I can block with Fleet Swallower. Do I think I can deck him here? Yeah, probably. Yeah, I guess I just block with Fleet Swallower on this. He pumps the entire way. Then I can, you know, sacrifice Sailor Means to Temple, Maze of Ith, the Firebrand. I could also just block with this here. He pumps. We can Maze. That gives us more life. And waste less mana? I guess that's better. Well, actually, because that's only if he didn't draw a spell. So he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 spells and 8 lands. Let's say he's running a 16-land Boros aggro deck. So he'd have 10 spells left and 8 lands left. So he has 1 in hand. I'm not good at math, but the right answer is probably somewhere in there. Huh. Interesting. He also might just not... I guess I have to maze... I guess I would have to maze this first, actually. Or sacrifice to this first. Just do it this way. I do wish I had drawn, like... you know, more spells to start this off. And then also, obviously, Unfriendly Fire gets us, if he has it, but... Okay. There you go. It's a good draw. Yeah, checks this. I'm trying to think, the best thing you could draw is like a huge hasty dinosaur, which gets Maze of Ith. This blocks here. We take 2 from Sky Terror. I think it's worth it to get a bunch of cards out of his library. Plains, second caller. He has a Crag in his deck. And a Settler. Ooh, that's important to know, actually. And also this Unfriendly Fire that would have killed us. So he did have it. So Settler Wreckage is an important one to note for later games. Although he might be boarding that out against me. It looks pretty terrible in this matchup. Sailor of Means. Yeah, it's actually fine. Anything feels fine when you have Temple of... how do you pronounce this? Aklazats? Yeah, Aklazats. Let him finish passing priority. Expires this. I'm not going to sacrifice. I want them to trade. And then we're just playing for decking here. I do feel like... I'm glad I boarded this... Or not boarded this in. I'm glad I started the Fleet Swallower. Because without this, just winning with the Galleon doesn't seem correct. Or, well, it doesn't seem like I'd actually be able to win a game of Magic with just the Galleon. Forest, Burning Sun's Avatar. I guess this guy was in my draft. Yeah, he was the guy who drafted his seat better than me. That's why he has a Burning Sun's Avatar in his deck. Yeah, that's cool. Get a chump block, Sailor Means out there. So this is probably a Regisaur Alpha, the green splash. It's the main card that comes to mind. Yeah, I definitely feel like not playing March of the Drown was a mistake, though. I'm going to be revising that once we get to the next game and then any further games. Alright. Talk to the Fleet Swallower. It's only going to mill one card, so he'll die... Oh, this is not target player, damn. He'll die soon. Alright, Fire Cannon Blast. So he has... How many Fire Cannon Blasts? He has 1 Fire Cannon Blast, 2 Unfriendly Fire, a Settle the Wreckage. Let's just make his graveyard a little bigger for you guys. Let's make my hand a little bigger in case anyone's having trouble reading. So, important cards to note: Burning Sun, Fire Cannon Blast, Settle the Wreckage, Unfriendly Fire number 1, Unfriendly Fire number 2, Dinosaur Stampede, Swashbuckling, Slash. Like, you can kind of write these cards down if you want, and the Sure Strike as well. And then his curve, he has many Tilonali's Night. Sorry, it's a tongue twister. He has 3 of those. Firebrand, Raptor, so he should have a 2-drop in most games. Because he has these 2s as well. Pretty good deck. I guess he has the green card in hand. I think we milled his entire green splash. So his hand is probably Regisaur Alpha, plus 1 other card. Maybe just another Boros land. Because the lands he has in graveyard are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lands. There's 7 lands in graveyard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 16. It might be a spell. I'm not really sure what it is. Can freely cast cards, and no chance the Boros deck has like mill or whatever. Cannonade. Actually, is kind of a bad thing. Because now he knows it's in my deck. That card's great against him, so I'm actually pretty glad I started it. And then I don't think there's really any chance of me dying here. Third Unfriendly Fire. Well, it doesn't kill me. It's not lethal. So how do I die? The last card in his deck is Lightning Strike or something. But if I don't tap the Temple... Alright, just... So I can respond by sacrificing whatever I need to. Or the last card in his hand is Lightning Strike, so we don't want to tap the Temple until absolutely necessary. He could also raid a Pyromancer on us. So if he has exactly raid, Pyromancer, Lightning Strike, we die. But yeah. Alright, cool. So we're not going to see one of those weird gotcha situations. That was an interesting game. Opponent... I feel like he got a little unlucky there. His cards were pretty good. So we have 4 ops. So like I said, I want to March of the Drown as like a concession to decking, because if our fish dies, we might just deck out. I kind of want to keep the fish in just as a way to actually win games. Cannonade looked great. Fire seems necessary. What's bad? Ops can always be cut. He didn't have any pacifism effects, so this is probably pretty weak. Like this sort of tempo loss is hard to do against Boros, the matchup where you get punished most for having this in your deck. He also had very few flyers, like essentially 0 flyers, so I don't want this in my deck either. I'm gonna play the other Prosperous Pirates, I'm gonna play the March and cut the Storm Sculptor for that. Keep all the offs so I have a consistent draw against him. The Dust Knot or Dust Legion Dreadnought also pretty interesting. But some of these crew numbers are off. Like having to use multiple creatures to crew it means that if he has a good like sort of go wide draw, we could get like it wouldn't really matter too much. And we already have the Galleon for a vehicle that requires that, so I think this is fine. Yeah, it's fine. I don't really like 2 mana ops, but it's better than nothing. And if we play Sailor Means, our hand is fine. I mean, he also has this for a 2-drop, so opponent has quite a few 2s, it seems. So basically, when we're opting, just every island to the top, everything else to the bottom, essentially. Hopefully, he's just pumping here, and it's not. No, that's fine. It's not like a 1, 2, 3 curve out. No, it's not particularly good. All right, right on time. He has land 4. This block's kind of bad. Probably going to be treasuring out the Prosperous Pirates here, just for the body. Yeah, he might have a land-heavy hand. He also might have a bunch of, like a lot of unfriendly fires. If we play out Sailor Means, we could double block. Actually, Sailor Means seems fine. Like, I don't mind double blocking at all if he's spending his turn trading. And the unfriendly fires just isn't a blowout. It's simply a 1-for-1 trade. He just kills this, and then this bounces off this body. So we can freely call him here. Sure Strike also, just a 1-for-1 trade. Like I said, in game 1, I probably won't be opting off treasure here. Can just, like, our hand is kind of fine, so we don't need anything right now. Alright, I think he has Unfriendly Fire open. So if I play this out, probably it's just dying. If I don't play it out, though, he'll be killing one of these, and then this will be a good attack. So, just going to play out the Prosperous Pirates here. Yeah, seeing a 3-of for a card like this is very nice. Really informs our gameplay going forward. It's like, this is so dead, but... Gonna be in the same situation this turn. Notably missing triple red, so we can't cast Burning Sun's Avatar. And then the green card, again, most likely Regisaur Alpha, although it could also be Raging Swordtooth. So, if he makes really suspicious attacks that would leave X1, no. Sorry, I gotta shrink that down a little. Alright, just gonna be casting another copy of Prosperous Pirates. Could have another Unfriendly Fire, but again, this exchange isn't too bad when we have Marks of the Drowned in hand. He's pretty F6. Alright, so he doesn't have Unfriendly Fire. He might have Burning Sun's Avatar in hand. Triple red. Burning Sun's Avatar doesn't do a whole lot, though. You should be able to flip this pretty easily this game. And I can kind of just take over from there. I actually don't mind more lands if we're going to be flipping the Conqueror's Foothold. Like, every land drop is relevant. And we have an interactive spell. That's a very good draw. I think this is a... Let's see, if he has Settle the Wreckage, he might just Settle the Wreckage us. But, seems alright. He could also have Pump twice Unfriendly Fire, but that won't kill this. I think this is as good of a time as any to try to flip it. Because the longer we wait, the more likely he can cluster block it. And then if something goes wrong during the cluster block, we lose our Galleon and lose our Sweet Engine. If it is settle wreckage, it's a 2-for-1 trade. Yeah, that's totally fine. 2-for-1 trade. We can still win with Fleet Swallower. Potentially with March of the Drown to get it back. Plus we have Raid for Chart the Course here. Pretty resource dense, so just gonna like tax him for his mana. Not gonna spend Unfriendly Fire here. Actually, yeah, it seems fine. And then, you know, right now taking life loses us cards. Also acceptable. I guess it's a bit more unacceptable because we get back both Prosperous Sprites now instead of Trophy Mage. Oh, Maze of Ith is very good. Because we have the Blood Blast, I'm just going to flip Maze of Ith immediately, and then this no longer matters. Yeah, I definitely made a mistake not playing March of the Drown main deck. The one copy just gives me so much power going late. I have all kinds of treasure now. So one key is not to drop, you know, of course, to 4 life with Argo's Bloodfast. Can attack here. Don't mind the trade either way, it's fine. Then this will be able to attack. Our opponent's quite flooded, unfortunately. I thought he was sitting on, or stuck on triple red for Burning Sun's Absorb, but it turns out he just had a bunch of awkward removal. I think he should have taken this out of his deck, actually. Doesn't look very good. He also knew about it from milling him over, which is not irrelevant. Cannonade is a nice draw, actually. I don't think I need to pull the trigger on it. I could attack with both. He blocks here, and then we just Cannonade to kill both. But he had enough X2s in his deck with 3 of these and a Frenzied Raptor that I should just wait. Yep. Yeah, I'll go to 5 here. I want to flip Argos. It makes me feel safer. Ooh. Well, I guess we don't have we can't Galleon in this game, so I don't know why I got excited, but still a decent draw. Gonna attack with everything and then have Cannonade open. The hope is, of course, he'll just block with Kinjali's Power and get the 0-3 body as well. Depending on how he blocks, he might just launch it off at combat. If he had a second Saddle Wreckage, it would be hilarious. but yeah, very, very low odds. I guess a rallying roar would be a huge blowout here. Nope. Yep. That'll just kill him. Alright, well, it's a strange match, but get to go to round 2, make a quick change. I like the March of the Drown, like I said. Prevents us from decking out. It's powerful. Prosperous Pirate's also pretty appealing. Although I think the first Windstrider still feels somewhat important. Like, we're very cold to flyers without this card in our deck. Gambler's Fallacy is telling me to cut Colonnade or Cannonade for it, because we played one aggro deck, so therefore we're less likely to play against the second one. But again, just pure Gambler's Fallacy. Really don't like cutting Ops. Opt is just so smooth, man. It feels so good to play with Opt. But it might just be Opt. Everything else is a bit more important or powerful. So yeah, I'm gonna have to cut an Opt for March of the Drown, unfortunately. Don't want to go below 2 2-drops. I guess the technically the Shipwreck Looter could come out, but it's a fine card. I mean, look how clean our curve looks, but just having a 2-drop changes the texture of games. Like the first game where we played the Raptor and we had this 2-drop on 2. If we just had you know, Opt into Trophy or into sorry, I keep calling this Trophy Mage, Sailor Beans, like we're doing so much worse. And that game we won on a very thin margin too in terms of life. So, and also if you draw this late, it doesn't replace itself, but it does like replace a land with something else. So it's never a bad card to play. So here we got another 1-lander Opt. I'm on the play. I hit 2-drop here. I have Mana Leak, and then after that I'm just kind of stuck. If I had more Opts in my deck, maybe I'd be tempted to keep this. I don't think this is like I like the Galleon here, but yeah, this is pretty poor too. If I can find a swamp, this hand's alright. But our deck is very base blue, because, you know, we have so many Ops, and most of our cards are blue, so we're punished through that. At least our opponent is joining us in the mulligan. Still, I don't think this is bad enough to mulligan. It definitely goes to the bottom. Because if we do find one swamp, then our hand's very live. And if not, we curve into, like... Also, we have the 3 Ops to draw into, so... Sure. Oh, nice. The perfects. Cast this on turn 2. Let's see what you can off it. Definitely goes in the yard. You know, it being in the yard too gets to back off March of the Drown, which is great. It's one of the better things we get to hit, really. Okay, I feel like Argyl's Bloodfast is going to take over this game. Our opponent is also a defensive blue-black deck to the look of it. Although I guess this can just go in any deck. It's not that bad of a card, even if you're just a tempo deck. Prosperous Pirates. Unfortunately, this is a human scout, not a pirate, but I still don't mind drawing that. Take 2 here. Sure, it's fine. How much do I care about this card? If I put it back on top, he'll play it. I can dispersal it. Yeah, it sounds fine. I just wanna... So this deck is very sensitive to flyers. So something like a mediocre flyer like that is like it actually is a premium card, even if it doesn't feel like it. So I can play this, use the treasure to Mana Leak, or I can just Mana Leak manually. I can rather just Mana Leak normally. we really want to push this game late. Yeah, I would snap block there too. Cost him a treasure when he's stuck on land 3. But I think he realizes that's a bad attack. So he has Prosperous Pirates in hand, by the way. He doesn't. I don't know anything else about his hand, but he did. Wait, no, sorry, it's in the yard. Never mind. I always get a little confused from Moto because the view interface looks like the graveyard. They're just like no different. But all right, so it's just in the yard. So we don't know anything about his hand anymore. Anyways, can I hit on 3 that I would? Pretty sure no matter what else Castellar means. I do need to find a way to remove this eventually because of Conqueror's Galleon. But if the game goes super long, we have to set up Cannonade on this plus Conqueror's Galleon flip. I will say probably the best thing about this draft deck is just like the sheer amount of velocity we have between Compass, Opt, Charter Course, Argos, Bloodpass. Like, we see a lot of cards for a limited deck, which makes achieving our goofy fish or Conqueror's Galleon late game more achievable than it would normally be. Yeah, it's fine. Suppose I'll just draw for F6 value. Okay. If I had known we had this sooner, I probably wouldn't have cared as much about starting to look out, but it's still fine. Could spend a treasure to cast this and start attacking. Could also just hold it up as a blocker for his next flyer or something. What's this? 5 Deadeye Plunders. Well, I can't counter it or anything. I don't know how much of a problem that is. It is a big creature, but I guess I don't have very many answers to a like XX creature. So in order to beat it, I have to set up the late game. There's a Conqueror's Galleon. Also, it would be hard to flip Conqueror's Galleon. Oh, sorry. Hard to flip it if the game goes to... well, if this gets huge and then this is still out, we can't flip this safely. Which is a bit of a problem. It's a little large. There we go. Alright. Anyways... I don't want to proceed here. I guess I could just hold up card draw and then have Flash, Windstrider, triple block this. Doesn't seem too bad. I'll take a cheap way to kill this. Should tap correctly so I can opt afterwards. Notably, triple blocking beats Skullduggery, which is nice. And any sort of bounce spell besides, I guess Depth's Desire would be pretty cool, because he can bounce one of our creatures, create a treasure, which upsizes his creature, but these creatures are disposable to the point where we don't really care that much. And he has to bounce this in order to win the combat. If he doesn't have much here, he'll just be... Oh, okay. Alright. I like that. It's good. So we killed the potentially large creature. Helps us flip Galleon if we can just remove the Heartstopper. Definitely don't need more lands. Not really, at least. Got our own Heartstopper. Get back a Windstrider off March of the Drowned. I think I might save that for the fish, though, so we get multiple mills. Ooh, Cannonade. Perfect. Guess I don't want to play this out until... until I've used my own Cannonade. I'm just going to take it as slowly as possible here. Okay. That also was a way to remove it. Cost him his single black mana right now. I assume he's raiding like a Stormfleet Spy or a Flyer or something. Also fine. Yeah, card draw is good. Do you have two of them? Or maybe he has the, yeah, he has March of the Drowned. What's his target? I'll check the chat. Siren Lookout. Okay. Storm Sculptor is... it's alright. Definitely don't want to play it before using the Cannonade. Going to be using Treasure here to cast probably the Galleon. Not really sure. I guess he just went to go get a sandwich or something. You know, he's tapped out, so no Force of Will in this format, no Daze, nothing like that. So his hand is Siren's Lookout and Prosperous Pirates. Opponent's very light on lands. We're also very light on lands, honestly. Like, maybe topping this was a mistake, but I keep expecting to draw a land per turn, because we've been very light. It's not the worst thing, though. Yeah, going late, all we really want is lands now. Because lands will let us perform the... well, it's casting it. There we go. Yeah, lands let us perform the running ground loop, and the running ground loop will just lock him out of the game. We can win with whatever we want. Okay, it's fine. Gonna be end of turning the Cannonade before. Make him lose a treasure to trade here. Doesn't seem worth it. Yeah, because bit mana late. Let's take the one. So I have a cute interaction where I can crew and then pick this up. But again, I want to cannonade this away, I think. These are both pirates, yeah. So ordering them doesn't really matter. I guess this cannonade, like, I guess cannonade's only purpose was if he was letting me, you know, like this was keeping this from flipping, but if he doesn't care if it flips, then suddenly cannonade loses value, because his other creature in hand is a pirate as well. It's probably coming out too after board, but I don't think he has, he can have Perilous Voyage, that'd be really annoying. So yeah, I'm actually going to go with the line where we just get back our Frost Pirates after crewing. It's kind of weird to use treasure first, but I feel like my turn is mapped out. The only thing I can think of that really gets us is Perilous Voyage. And then the Heartstopper is going to help crew. We can get this back for another treasure ETB. Oh, he could really just be telegraphing Perilous Voyage, actually. In that, like, he's thinking about bouncing the Foothold in response. But if he has it, I mean, he should just do it like this. And if he does have it, at the very least, we cost him 2 treasure. And replaying it isn't the worst. Oh, nice. Alright. Is it gonna flip? Or does he have it? Nope. Have a galleon now. Good. Alright, so we can get this... Yeah, we probably just want to get it back. We can also March to the Drown for Sailor Means. In which case the... Or just Prosperous Pirates, Sailor Means, cast Prosperous Pirates. We have a lot of... Yeah, that's a better line. So we have a lot of mana, is the idea. The treasure can go towards activating the Foothold. Just a few activations of it, and should be able to bury them in cards. Notably, we probably don't want to draw or discard. Like, mostly we're looking to 6, like, even if we don't get back Running Ground necessarily. Because we don't want to deck ourselves out. I also would not mind going to 5 here. I'd be happy to flip this, have an extra land, have an extra source of life in case he has more flyers. He definitely has the lookout in hand, but he, you know, he could have other cards like River Sneak. He could have his own Storm Sculptor. This still looks terrible against him, so it can come out in game 2 and 3. Probably just add in the 4th Opt. What else do I have for sideboard? I don't think he's actually that slow of a deck. It's just that, you know, I'm slowing down the pace of the game. Not really a fan of Depths. Cross Pirate's fine. Just the lookout from before. Spell Pierce isn't great. Deadeye Tormentor goes in the yard. Desperate Castaways. Yeah, I got a pretty normal blue-black pirate deck. Probably has the Cutlass as well. I could sacrifice Treasure in order to flip this early, but I think I'd rather just wait. Alright. This attack probably has Skuldorgap Treasure. This attack's kind of questionable. If he doesn't have Skuldorgap Treasure, this is perfect, because it flips our Argles for us. Flips Argles for us, and we kill his best creature. Seems like he doesn't have Skullduggery. Oh, he does. Okay. That's fine. Wait, wouldn't he want to order this first? I guess it's not dying either way. But yeah, he still would kill this, though. That's weird. Alright, so Argle's gonna flip. I'm not gonna draw extra cards. I have plenty of resources. Probably the best thing we could find at this point is Thematic Compass. Extra mana sources are fine too. So double block is excellent for us. I really doubt he's double blocking here. The only thing he has going on is this flyer. Alright, Thematic Compass, perfect. Not using what's it called? Not using, well, just the compass itself. I'm just gonna keep it open for Maze of Ith on his flyer. Don't need to deploy Storm Stalker yet. Still holding out for the dream that this is relevant. Seems unlikely. One card we're just utterly dead to is River's Rebuke. Just a rare he could have that kind of gets us. The way we'd play around it is we would get back. Alright. Well, we would get back the what's it called? Lookout's Dispersal. Which we could do off Treasure with Conqueror's Foothold. So let's line up some blocks here. Eats this, bounce off this, eat this. All right. One possibility, he has Unfriendly Fire off his treasure, and he's just trying to get us, essentially. Sack red, try to kill you, misses the Temple of Akalazotz or whatever. Could also just have a raid card he really wants to push through. Two mana, Perilous Voyage. Oh, Siren's Ruse. Okay, that's fine. What? Oh. Okay, just to activate the ability. That's fine. So we're still dead to Unfriendly Fire if he has it. Well, not dead, but we'd still be dead in response. Menace creature. Also a pirate, by the way. Deadeye Plunder. Oh, his second Deadeye Plunders. Wow. This guy's deck is great. He's two of these. Deadeye Tormentor. Alright. Yep. Do I want to sacrifice anything to this? I don't think so. I don't think he really has, like, reach. The Unfriendly Fire trick is really cute. Like, that would get us, but other than that, I can't think of anything. It does direct damage. Yeah, it's still useless. Interloper is alright. So I do have 11 mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, so I can start the lock. One of the problems with the lock, though, is that like I'm not really getting there on board right now. Also, the lock can just be done at end step, so if I'm going to lock him out, I just want to pass. So I think I'm just doing... Because the lock, it's 11 mana, so I can do everything but... fine. Just discard this worthless fiery candidate. I don't believe he has unfriendly fire, but I suppose he could. Oh, I tapped the wrong lands. That's just dumb. There's no reason to do that. We just have to lose a treasure for shame. But we're gonna bounce. All those creatures ETB, except for this thing, just really cheap. I guess we can just do the 5. Yeah, not really too impressive. Yeah, his attacks are still pretty bad. Maze of it. Alright, more lands is fine. This could slowly start winning us the game when we hold counter magic up. So as you can see, the Conqueror's Galleon can also rebuy Mana Leak every single turn. Well, it's better than Mana Leak, but it's the idea. While we hold up Maze of it, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so we can cast it off treasure if needed. It's Deadeye Plunderers, I assume. That's the sorry, that's the wrong land, of course. Probably like this. Yeah, it seems fine. Just gonna keep this alive, and then I made a mistake by tapping this. I probably should have just done. Well, I guess it's not really a mistake because he's kind of tapping out. So okay, that's fine. I was gonna say I can't exactly die if you know, he doesn't have 5 mana. I guess he could have sack for lightning strike. That would have done it. So that's been a silly way to die. So yeah, tapping this was a mistake. It's just we didn't get punished. Yeah, every time I tap, I should be tapping Unknown Shores first. It's just a strictly worse land. But it is a bit of a reach over there. So, hence me not tapping it. Those long, grindy games. Like, definitely not for the faint of heart. Alright. Don't hate trading. It's obviously a bad trade, but it's not bad to the point where it bothers me. Now he'll do Death Touch? Sure, it's fine. I guess the second Plunderers. Or something else. Depths of Desire. Hmm? Yeah, that's fine. Get back, run aground. There's the Fleet Swallower. I think we're winning by damage with Storm Sculptor this game, rather than decking, I was gonna say. Every turn, just let him draw a removal spell for this. We still Fleet Swallower. We can also just get it itself back with the Ixalan. Our opponent attacking with everything. Alright. And he still has Deadeye Plunderers in hand, I believe. Oh yeah, he could just sacrifice, he could sacrifice to this. And then again, I don't believe he has Lightning Strike in his deck. That would be the blowout for doing it this way, but don't think I need to play around a card like that. And we know exactly what he's drawing next turn, which is the Deadeye Plunderers we just targeted. Our opponent might be playing to clock us out, by the way. Something to consider for game 2 and 3, but just have to play quickly. That's fine. Start being a little more aggressive with that. And he's stuck drawing 2 useless cards, so should end the game. We get more information with this card. Let's see. Do I have lethal, by the way? Is there anything I can mill for damage? Or get back with Conqueror's Galleon, rather? Not really. Let's see what else is in his deck. The third Deadeye Plunderers. Holy. Oh, he also has his own Galleon. Interesting. Alright. How do I kill a Galleon? I don't have a spreading rod, unfortunately. Tempest Color is interesting because it just says I win in these long games, which I think is important. Second Prosperous Pirates. No. Alright. And that's just game. So we did it. We successfully executed the Conqueror's Galleon attrition plan. Sure. Opponent just throwing up the Hail Mary. I guess not a Hail Mary, but Hostage Taker. See? This is why playing up the stage of the game is important, because now we know he has Hostage Taker in his deck. Opponent's just wasting our time, trying to play for clock in game 2-3. Okay, so we gotta play quickly, but we know what our opponent's deck is doing. Windstrider seems good. Tempest Scholar seems great. It's a way to just, you know, say I win. Prosperous Pirates blocks well. It's big body. Fleet Swaller is pretty good. What do I want? Oh yeah, the candidate is horrible. I don't really love Unfriendly Fire either. It seems okay. Skittering Heartstopper is pretty weak. Spell Pierce, not really too great. Could do a second run aground. Second run aground's good because he has Hostage Taker and so many 5s. I think I like a second run aground. And then it's not very aggressive. Cut this looter pretty safely. And I want the extra opt as well. So what would I cut for that? I don't want to cut Seeker's Squire. I guess I'll have to stick on 3 ops, unfortunately. I like everything else here. So the key is to have a plan to play a long game, but also to play it very quickly. Yeah, this looks okay. Because we really don't want to time out here. Probably just go Dispersal into Run Aground, like whatever he plays, essentially. Yep. I'll let him decide if he wants to top his own card so he can't draw a card off it. Spell Pierce. Alright. Deny Tormentor. Probably tops that. Can discard a land to it. So yeah, this is probably going to catch him by surprise, given how dirtily the deck performed last game. If we can initiate a race, we might be able to surprise and kill him with it. It's pretty good. Probably the second Prosperous. Shame I couldn't just discard the top card of my deck. But I want this to win the stalled board. See, that's Vanquish? Yeah. Unfortunately, we're not going to be rebuying Tempest Caller this game. Ooh. Wow, we can have this game, boys. Opponent's deck is doing much better. Could have cast this off Treasure as a 2/3, but it doesn't seem like it would do enough. Yeah. It's probably going to be game. Spell Pierce got us. It's pretty brutal. Just 1 mana, Time Walk. Let's see. I don't have an answer to this right now. Probably came in from the sideboard. So we're essentially going to a 2 life on board. Yeah, that should kill us. Conqueror's Galleon probably stays on top. Dire Fleet and Whipper. Okay, just that card. I think I can hit anything off this, but... Alright, gonna die here. Use his own, could use our own Spell Pierces. I think we can play around this card easier now that we know about it. Still like the second run aground. Still like the Galleon. I like all these cheap cards. All these overpower him late game pretty easily. So, gonna have to play some speed magic, but I still like our position. Absolutely keep this hand. Hand's essentially perfect. Get an F6 opt here for... I'm not sure. Just for time. So our opponent's not pressuring us, so I don't want to play my creatures. I just want to activate this as many times as I can. When I had to move to discard, discards an island. Do I want to play for tempo here? Not really. I don't think pushing 2 run aground tempo is going to do anything. I'm going to take it 1 a turn. It's fine. I wonder how that works with combat. I actually have no clue how that works with Maze of It. I do think this prevents it from flipping, but... a nice tempo swing. Prosperous Pirates here. And run aground again. Try to push for tempo a little. Hey, forgive me for the commentary. I have to focus on playing Moto really quickly so I don't time out. Quickly top that. Check everything. Could have Vanquish the Weak for one of these Prospect Pirates. Nope. Fun. Gonna be opting and casting the Windstrider off Treasure. Yeah, the clunkiness of this card is proving pretty real. Like when we were able to grip tide it, created a huge tempo hole for our opponent. So he's dying to some pretty weak creatures right now. Ooh. 3, 1, 5, 8. Yeah. That is lethal if he doesn't have well, no, it's just lethal. Alright. See if you got it. Crewing in response doesn't do anything. Nice. There we go. Whew. That was exhausting, but hopefully that was fun to watch at least, and we can move on to the finals here. Yeah, sounds alright. As you can see, we can use used our mana pretty well in the other games, so I don't mind being a low flooded with this deck. Hopefully we can find a Compass or the Bloodfast. Opponent's on the play on 6. It's good because this hand mostly just trades resources anyways. It's also, that's an excellent draw. That's probably the best draw on our deck. Have early raid through this. Opponent's on Merfolk. One combo we're very bad against is Jade Guardian, One with the Wind. It's something this deck like just cannot beat consistently. So we can safely pitch on Unknown Shores. We already have our red source. We have plenty of lands. Mana Leak is 4-drop here. Play Interloper. Play Storm Sculptor later. Oh, absolutely. Oh, wow. No, thank you. Don't want to play against that. Like, technically, for as good as that card is, it doesn't really destroy our game plan, because we can still get around it through Menace and this, but I have no clue why you would ever let a Ripjaw Raptor resolve there. And then here, this isn't a high-impact draw, plus it gets, you can get it back off March, so definitely binning it. I feel like this might be being bought back this game, though. He's green-blue, so he can't kill this thing very often. He can only kill it with fight cards, essentially. And I doubt he has multiples. He might not even have the first one, but... Alright, so this is most likely the... What's that card called? That's Snapping Sailback. So we don't attack with the 2-1, we just attack with the Death Toucher and the Menace. Could also be Windstrider, in which case it's also correct. That's fine. We'll leave up March of the Drowned in case we flip good pirate. I was gonna say, if we flip like basically any pirate, we just bin it and then immediately cast March. Opponent could still have the snapping sailback. Could also just be extremely flooded. It's more likely as a sailback though. I skipped my turn open, frustrated. Just pitched a land here. Yeah, opponent didn't really put up much of a fight this game. If I kept like a 5-lander, Ripjaw Raptor, just drew lands. I guess the game's not over, but this draw kind of made me feel like the game was over. It's a very good draw here. Should be able to kill our opponent this turn. Jungle Delver. So he's definitely, I mean, obviously he's green-blue, but if you're playing Jungle Delver, you're probably Rebel Herald's booning and playing all sorts of actual Merfolk synergy. Tom Compass, a good draw. Attack with everything but this. These two have evasion. This is a rate trade up. This has menace. It's not gonna work, buddy. Huh. Let's see, my own end step. I have lethal, but I'll just wait until he taps out for something. Just play around cancel or look out dispersal, because I pretty much can. I'm very ahead. Okay. Yeah, end of turn we were just going to fire it off. So, Cannonade against Merfolk is kind of high variance. He had the Wayfinder, which it can hit. He had Jungle Delver, which it hits. It's not going to hit Jade Guardian. It's going to hit Water Trap Weaver. It's going to hit Deep Root Warrior. Just naming off Merfolk he could have. It's embarrassing against Ripjaw Raptor. Like, actually embarrassing. So, not really a huge fan. I think I can do without it. This is an answer to... What's it called? Actually, no, it's not. I thought I could target enchantments for a second. So, if he does have One with the Wind and Jade Guardian... How the hell do I ever beat that? I guess I just had to race him? I could use my own One with the Wind. Try to block her for it. Don't really have much other use for the card, but... I really hope he doesn't have that card. Well, the combination, rather. Other than that, I do want to keep the Windstrider in. He's blue, so he should have a few flyers. I want to keep this in so I don't deck out. I think I'm pretty good. I guess I can take the Cannonade out for an opt. Gonna do that. Not really convinced Cannonade's gonna do that much work in this matchup. It was good game one. It's pretty bad otherwise. Or match one, rather. Sure. Sounds good. Hand just got excellent now. Okay. I can safely bottom that. This is a surprisingly problematic card for my deck. I'm just so very passive, and I just took out the Cannonade. So as soon as I take it out, yeah, I can top the ops, sure. Why not? Help me find one of my few answers to this. If I don't draw a land 4, I consider myself like very minorly punished for topping op there. So it's a pirate. Wouldn't die. Just taking notes for a Cannonade if I want a game 3. I'm definitely compelled to attack. Like, my opponent stumbles awkwardly, or if I just get card advantage later, I might have to use damage to race this. Another creature that dies to Cannonade. I think these two, and especially because they're evasive, are tiebreakers. So if there is a game 3, I expect to have Cannonade in my deck. Dispersal. Bit late. It's not bad though. Opt for a land here. It's perfect. So one thing I can do here is I can run aground the River Sneak in order to put this down on the ground. It's a little risky, because if he has River Herald's Boon, I get blown out. Makes a 4/3 fire for later. He would make the exact same attack if he had River Herald's Boon or not. So I don't think I want to try that yet. Something I might want to do with a double block. It's also passing, which increases the odds of him having something like that. It's kind of a mopey creature. Bottom it. It's very average. Not super happy with this card right now. So I'm going to go for the Griptide line now, because I have Lookout's Dispersal and Run Aground up. Can fight whatever interaction he uses. And River Herald's Boon will not be, it's cheap, but it's not cheap enough for the point where you can just pay for it. Tempest Caller. No thanks. Not a very good Tempest Caller, actually. But still just don't want the card to resolve. And then this plays right into my Run Aground. Nice. I can go get lands. I can loot the lands away to Shipwreck Looter. I can deploy the Galleon now and start flipping it. I can also try to race. So March of the Drowned looks pretty poor. Like, I'm not really able to trade with his River Sneak, and there's no other trading happening. I'll just attack with both. Attack with just this. I want the 1 damage. I get the 1 damage from Sailor of the Minions. It's 11. Plays out. He draws River Sneak for turn. He has other Merfolk or like maybe Ripjaw Raptor. He's cut off double green for. How much does 1 damage matter? Probably not a lot. And Maze of Ith is an answer to River Sneak, so I think I want to just push the game late. Still feel like I can get rid of March of the Drowned safely though. Just not a very good card right now. It's probably okay in the matchup. Like 1 copy can't really hurt us that badly. Assume the River Sneak is coming out. This is one of those cases where I'll probably just go get the land even if I hit lane 7. Another thing I can do is I could just sit this on 6 and keep activating it to thin my deck of lands. That's if I'm under like virtually no pressure. But hitting land drops also gets us closer to the Run Aground loop, so I probably wouldn't bother with that this game. Alright, our 2/1 is dead. Not a big deal though. Like, I enjoy that he's playing a card like this. Makes it much more realistic for us to... Ooh, that is great. Yeah, for us to get to the place in the game where we want. Alright, now we're just in a really damn good spot. We have all of our engines online. Can draw tons of cards, remove his best creature from combat, set up loops with Run Aground, and sort of just stare at his creatures while he's awkwardly stuck on unimpressive plays. Like, even a Ripjaw Raptor here doesn't do anything. Yeah. I was about to say Aeromental, actually. But, again, just Maze of Ith. Maze fodder. Plus, let's flip the galleon. Okay with that. I don't take that much damage. I can safely flip it now before he has enough blockers to make this impossible. Basically giving up 3 life to do so. But remember, giving up life just gets us to the point where it flips anyways. One of the cards in his hand is River Sneak as well. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can get back Run Aground, but we can't get back Run Aground and Aram until his turn. So we're probably just gonna draw a card off Conqueror's Galleon. Take the free 1, or he didn't attack with this, but take our free 2 damage. Go to 10. I'm not in a hurry to flip this at all because he's blue-green rather than, you know, green-red or something. Only way you can have unfriendly fire is off treasure. And based on the composition of his deck, he probably has like 1 at most. Probably doesn't even have that one, but if he did, it'd be like a 1 of. Oh, I got punished for tapping wrong. It's like it's happened quite a bit now, actually, but not a large punishment, just a little bit. I can bottom a land here. Sure, it's fine. So I don't mind trading for Riptoraptor. It's pretty good for us. Mazavith gets his Elemental. We can just shoot it dead. We do have Lookouts Dispersal in the yard as well, so we can essentially loop Running Ground and Lookouts Dispersal over and over, just like we did the well, one of our first games. Yeah, we're going to try not to go for this until it's actually safe to land. Yep. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Doesn't seem to be F6'd. Might be F6'd. Again, like River Herald's Boon would be kind of disastrous on this. I think I just used my life as a resource a little. Take 1. Have activations of this up. Unfold over. Could also just shoot the River Sneak. So it doesn't really make a difference. Like both of them get answered by. Yeah, I'm actually just gonna do that. If they both get answered by Maze of It, it doesn't really matter which one I kill. And then if he has River Herald's Boon, he can't save it here. If he has Siren's Ruse, it would save either one. If he has oh, I should have responded to the trigger actually. If he has what's it called? Crash Through Ramparts, he can use that as a burn spell. Yeah, it was a mistake. Not a huge mistake, because if we go a little bit low, we can start sacrificing Sailor Beams and stay out of burn range, but it just lets him use a card that otherwise has no purpose. But since it's not permanent, it's not really a big deal. the thing about River Herald's Mood is that we shoot this, he makes it a 5/5, and then, you know, we're just locked on this the entire game and we're down on unfriendly fire. I guess he does have, like, Crash. He might have Crash the Ramparts, because I wouldn't really be exactly sure how to proceed if I had it. I'd probably just let it rip, because, like I said, it at least makes the card something. You're essentially burning. But he might be waiting for, like, a better opportunity where I've just tapped out, which I don't think is ever going to happen. I could just keep waiting, and then every turn I draw either Counterspell or Griptide until he concedes. Like, I don't even need to play the fish. So every turn he's making this bigger, essentially. Doesn't really matter. Just a much safer line. Can beat something like River's Rebuke, for instance. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13 if I flip this for mana sources. So, yeah. So if we use Maze of It this turn, we have to sacrifice the treasure in order to get back Run Aground and cast it. Yeah, definitely don't attack with Jungle Delver yet. Just cluster block with all creatures. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 sources, cast for 7, Maze of It. I can activate this a few times, I guess. Or I can just keep running grounding. Yeah, just keep running grounding him. So if he has that card in hand, it could be the Cross the Ramparts we mentioned. Or you could just have a land or some other awkward piece. Doesn't really matter. You can just keep trading draw steps with him. So he's not fully F6 either. Didn't even cast the Jungle Delver. I suppose, you know, you want to cast your spell second main and all that, but, Just to, mono encourages bad habits sometimes. Especially if you're going to have 6. Fine killing the 2/1 here. So his hand is, he has Jungle Delver, he has one other card. I doubt it's Crash Through the Ramparts, he probably would just fired it off there. He has Aeromental here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can just mill it, or yeah, put it on top of his deck, mill it to Fleet Swallower. That's it. Alright, so, you know, we played some really slow, attrition-y games, but we won. Our deck was unconventional, kind of interesting. We were mostly leveraging very, like, dirtily card advantage engines, but I hope you guys saw, like, kind of the power of a more defensive deck in Ixalan. There's a bit more to the format than just, like, 100% aggression, because cards like the 1/4, sorry, not the 1/4, what's his name? Sailor Beans and Prosperous Pirates. Like these cards do a very good job at like getting you towards something greater while protecting you. So I do encourage you to try it out sometime. Obviously, you know, these sorts of decks, they're powered by rares, they're powered by like, you know, expensive cards. They're not something you should do every time you sit down. Like if I just saw some Pirates Cutlasses, for example, I could have just been the blue-black aggro deck I played against. And honestly, again, his deck was probably better than mine. I mean, he had 3 Deadeye Plunderers. I don't know if I saw the Cutlass, but you know, he had a ton of Pirates, Hostage Taker. Like you see the two decks like sitting side by side. You just like, I want to play this one. But as you can see, like, just I don't know. It's just the power of like cascading card advantage engines and inevitability is pretty real. So anyways, that's it for my first video. I'll probably write a little bit in the article about this. And thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a great night, man.